What did your daughter just say? Those 6 trembling words shattered the silence inside the luxury waterfront restaurant. Every executive at the Billionaire's table stopped eating. Glasses froze halfway to lips. Even the pianist in the corner seemed to miss a note. Sophia Loren, one of the youngest self-made billionaires in America, slowly turned toward her 7-year-old daughter, Lily. For 3 years, Lily had never spoken a single word, not to doctors, therapists, teachers, or even her own mother. After witnessing her father's tragic death during a kidnapping attempt, the little girl had retreated into complete silence. The world's best specialists had called it severe selective mutism caused by trauma. Sophia had spent millions searching for a cure, but nothing had worked. Yet now, Lily was standing beside the table, staring at a stranger. "Daddy," she whispered. The restaurant fell silent. Sophia's heart nearly stopped. The man Lily was looking at wasn't her father. He was a rugged single dad sitting quietly at a nearby table with his 8-year-old son. Wearing a simple gray t-shirt and faded jeans, he looked nothing like the wealthy guests surrounding Sophia. His name was Ethan Walker, and almost nobody knew that beneath his calm smile was a decorated former Navy SEAL who had completed countless dangerous missions before retiring to raise his son alone. Ethan looked surprised but didn't panic. Instead, he smiled gently. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I think she may have mistaken me for someone." But Lily slowly shook her head. No. It was only one word. Yet for Sophia, it was a miracle worth more than every dollar she owned. Tears instantly filled her eyes. The restaurant erupted into whispers as people realized what had happened. Sophia rushed toward her daughter and knelt beside her. "Lily, sweetheart, can you hear Mommy?" The little girl looked at her mother lovingly but remained focused on Ethan. Then she quietly walked across the room. Security guards immediately stepped forward. "Ma'am, should we stop her?" Sophia hesitated. Every therapist had warned her never to interrupt moments when Lily felt emotionally safe. "Let her go." Lily approached Ethan's table. His young son, Noah, smiled kindly. "You can color with me if you want." Lily nodded. Without saying another word, she sat beside Noah and picked up a blue crayon. For the next 30 minutes, something unbelievable happened. She smiled. She laughed silently. She played. She even glanced at Ethan several times with complete trust. Sophia watched from across the restaurant with tears streaming down her face. How could a complete stranger succeed where hundreds of specialists had failed? Curiosity eventually overcame her. She walked toward Ethan. "I know this sounds impossible," she said quietly, "but would you allow me to ask you something?" Ethan nodded politely. "What happened to my daughter?" He looked at Lily before answering. "I don't think I healed her." "Then what happened?" "I simply didn't expect anything from her." Sophia frowned. Ethan continued. "Everyone around her is trying to make her speak. Doctors ask questions. Therapists encourage responses. Adults wait for words." He smiled warmly. "My son and I simply invited her to draw." Sophia stood speechless. No expensive therapy. No complicated treatment. No pressure. Just kindness. That answer touched something deep inside her. As the evening continued, Noah accidentally mentioned something. "My dad helps people all the time." Sophia smiled politely. "What does your father do?" Noah grinned proudly. "He used to be a Navy SEAL." Several nearby businessmen laughed. The quiet man in a gray t-shirt. A Navy SEAL? It sounded ridiculous. One executive smirked. "Everyone claims to be a hero these days." Ethan ignored the comment completely. He simply packed the crayons into Noah's backpack. Sophia noticed something strange. His movements. His awareness. The way his eyes constantly scanned exits and entrances without appearing nervous. She had spent years hiring elite security professionals. Only highly trained military operators behaved like that. Could Noah actually be telling the truth? Before she could ask another question, the restaurant lights suddenly flickered. Every instinct Ethan had developed during years of combat instantly awakened. His smile disappeared. His eyes became sharp. Then he quietly spoke only 4 words. "Everyone, get down!" Now. No one moved. No one understood. But within the next 2 seconds, the front windows exploded inward. Masked armed men stormed into the restaurant. Screams filled the room. And while billionaires, executives, and security guards froze in panic, the quiet single dad stood up. The Navy SEAL had just returned to battle. If you're already captivated by this unforgettable story of courage, sacrifice, and second chances, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next emotional story. The first gunshot sent diners diving beneath tables, but Ethan Walker had already moved before the echo faded. Years of Navy SEAL training took over in an instant. He grabbed Noah and Lily together, slid them behind a thick marble pillar, and calmly told them, "Stay here. Protect each other. I'll come back." Noah nodded with complete confidence because he'd seen that look in his father's eyes before. Ethan turned toward the masked attackers, who were ordering everyone to hand over jewelry, phones, and access codes to their bank accounts. Sophia's private security team reached for their weapons, but the criminals had anticipated every move. Within seconds, the guards were disarmed. The terrified guests believed they had no chance. Ethan quietly observed the room, counting every attacker, every exit, every piece of cover. 5 armed men. 1 leader. 2 near the entrance. 1 watching the kitchen. 1 controlling the terrified guests. 1 standing dangerously close to Sophia. The leader pointed his rifle toward her. "Transfer your company accounts, or your daughter dies first." Sophia's face turned pale. For the first time in years, her fortune meant absolutely nothing. Then Ethan stepped out from behind the pillar with empty hands raised. "You don't want the children involved," he said calmly. The gunman laughed. "And who are you supposed to be?" Ethan answered with complete confidence. "Just a father." The criminal smirked and walked toward him, intending to humiliate him in front of everyone. It was the biggest mistake of his life. In one lightning-fast movement, Ethan twisted the rifle away, struck the attacker with a precise elbow, and used the falling weapon to knock down the second gunman before anyone understood what had happened. The restaurant erupted into chaos. The remaining criminals fired wildly, but Ethan moved with incredible speed, using tables and pillars as cover while guiding frightened families towards safety. His military instincts never failed. One by one, the attackers lost control. A third criminal rushed toward Lily, hoping to use her as a hostage. Before anyone could scream, Ethan crossed the room and tackled the man to the ground, protecting Lily with his own body as a bullet shattered a nearby window. Sophia watched in disbelief. This stranger had risked his life without hesitation to save her daughter. Minutes later, police sirens surrounded the building. The final attacker attempted to escape through the kitchen, but Ethan intercepted him and held him until officers rushed inside. The nightmare was over. The restaurant was silent except for the sound of relieved sobs. Police officers quickly recognized Ethan. One captain approached and saluted him respectfully. "Master Chief Walker, it's an honor to see you again." The guests stared in shock. The quiet single father truly had been an elite Navy SEAL. News crews arrived within minutes, broadcasting the dramatic rescue across the country. Reporters praised the mysterious hero who had saved dozens of innocent lives. But Ethan avoided every camera. Instead, he walked directly back to Noah and Lily. The little girl looked into his eyes. Then, for the first time in 3 years, she spoke in a clear voice. "Thank you for saving my mommy." Sophia burst into tears. Doctors had said this moment might never happen, yet it happened because one man had treated Lily not as a patient, but as a child deserving kindness and safety. Weeks later, Sophia invited Ethan and Noah to visit her home. She offered him an executive security position worth millions of dollars each year. Ethan smiled gratefully but shook his head. "I appreciate it, but my son has already lost enough years while I served overseas. Right now, being his father is the most important job I'll ever have." His answer humbled everyone in the room. Sophia understood that true wealth wasn't measured by billions, luxury cars, or skyscrapers. It was measured by integrity, sacrifice, and the people who trusted you most. Inspired by Ethan's example, she established a foundation providing free trauma therapy for military families and children who had experienced violence. She asked Ethan to serve as an advisor, helping veterans transition into peaceful family life. He accepted, not for money, but because he knew how many families silently carried invisible wounds. Lily continued speaking more each day, especially whenever Ethan and Noah visited. She laughed, played, and slowly rediscovered the childhood that trauma had stolen. The bond between the two families became stronger with every passing month, proving that healing often begins with compassion rather than wealth. As for Ethan, he never called himself a hero. Whenever reporters asked how he saved so many lives, he always gave the same simple answer. "I wasn't thinking about danger. I saw frightened children who needed someone to stand between them and fear. Any real father would have done the same." Those words spread across the nation, inspiring millions and reminding the world that the greatest strength is found not in power or money, but in courage, humility, and unconditional love. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who believes kindness and courage can still change the world. More unforgettable emotional stories are coming soon.